welcome back to Little Witchy Mischiefs, and now we're on the third map.
I love how enthusiastic you've been about looking into this game. Like, I wonder...
What was that, Jova?
I love how enthusiastic you are about this game made by Toys for Bob.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, one, it's a perfectly decent game, which was a surprise considering it's built off another decent game. plus, it's just the whole premise of it. It's just so amazingly bizarre.
That it is. And Lord knows, Toys for Bob certainly gave it the college try to give it that very iconic anime feel.
Alright, in case you're wondering, the character I picked there is, I think it's Sally the Witch's little sister, Poran.
No, I could see a modern day version of this that goes for a different trope of anime going with. Let's see a crossover between.
It'd have to be developed by a Western developer.
That's the thing, Jova. That's the thing, Jova.
To keep the feel.
That's actually the thing, Jova. There has been for so long and it's continued to this day, and it's called Super Robot Wars.
Oh yeah, that's... which sort of went on to be Project Cross Zone, if I recall.
It's complicated, but basically, to say the least, to try to sum it up, it's a monolith. Yes, go on, Dwibs, sorry.
Alright, two things. One, if they do make another one of these games, it has to be developed by Westerners to keep the bizarreness factor that's going
Way forward.
Maybe. And two, the characters we have now are from the Lunlun series. Basically, we have the main character there, Lunlun and Surge.
I'll check in the meantime. But basically, to sum it up, Jova, it's Monolith, the guys who did the Xeno games, who essentially had the idea, hey, we have a perfectly good gameplay system using sprite-based, characters and enemies. So let's go apeshit and make it like a crossover that involves everything of a mecha genre that we can think of. Everything. And despite that, they also managed to actually have good writing on top of it. Apparently, a lot of people who don't like Evangelion actually managed to like Shinji in Super Robot Wars games.
Was it a case of Shinji being written differently there, or a case of it being a
bit less mopey, and the stories that the arcs that involve him or the other characters from Evangelion are a bit more uplifting, because that's one of the key components of Evangelion, not being exactly the happiest, experience ever.
What are you talking about, Gio? The original ending of Evangelion was a happy ending.
Okay, yes, I guess it technically is, if you were high enough.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Penguin noises. Anyway, Dwibs, you were saying, aside from Sally the Witch, what other franchise did you mention that was here?
Hanako Lunlun, I think that's what it's
called.
Hanako
Lunlun. Let me see. In my country, it's called The Angels in the Flowers. Interesting title.
Why does that sound like a euphemism for drugs?
Okay. Let's see. Originally made in 1979 by Toei Animation. In my country, it was actually broadcasted in 1981.
Jova, you voice this guy.
Hey, Lunlun, is there a flower over there?
Oh, speaking of flowers.
Yeah. Yes, that is a flower. Oh, God, I'm trying to read my own dialogue. Yeah, this is me using Google Translate.
Well, if it's Google Translate, it's not exactly
what is this, Dwibs?
Well, yes, it was. Well,
you do it, Pedro. Yapakia to Genesia.
Venetia.
Oh no, it's who the hell are they?
Characters from that series.
Terribly sorry, but I'll be taking this flower.
What rejected Sailor Moon season do you come from?
This flower shouldn't have anything to do with you.
I have no idea who these characters are, so I'm just gonna roll with this.
Yeah, just make something up.
I think they're being manipulated by someone. Of course!
I didn't know that.
Well, it's a guess that the character is making.
That's usually the case in magical girl anime.
Okay, let's beat the shit out of them. That usually works.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
That's usually how things work in these video games.
okay.
So yeah.
Especially in these crossovers, yeah.
It's a computer fight.
Oh, so it's
What?
scripted.
Remember what last battle taught us to the cure to amnesia is beating the shit out of the
Of course.
It feels weird that this fight is completely computer generated, considering how important it seems like. Shouldn't you be in control of Lunlun?
Toys for Bob needs to script this because it's very important how the specific moves in this fight go. I mean, it's a very specific fight, and it's.
Anyway, won't be able to make it anime enough.
Telling him what to do.
Hold on.
What happened?
Some children came on and punched you in the face.
Don't mind the
Back to
concussions.
normal.
Yeah, don't mind the concussions.
I can't believe you helped me.
Yeah, if I had to guess, we're rivals in the original series.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. Are they from the same series?
Sheila, you voice this one.
Are you two alright?
Probably not, Akko.
Just beat the shit out of each other. What do you think? I mean, yes. Who are you?
Oh god, the drugs are finally out of effect.
Okay, this one apparently did get an English release.
So you got caught up in the situation too.
Oh. What
You
a
didn't
turn of
answer the
events.
question.
See, this is when you can tell this is Google Translate of Japanese, because the dialogue definitely sounds stiff as Japanese
Well-
as an actual
We
translation.
gotta work together.
You know what? To be
At
fair,
least it's comprehensible. Google Translate normally will tell you something like,
Yeah.
I gotta eat the cat on the stew.
Okay, basically what I had to do was, I used Google Translate app on my, yeah, you voice this guy.
What would have been in Toganisha? We have to work with them. Yeah, apologies to the fans of the full series.
Later.
What's to stop her from chasing Mar? Oh, it's a Tanuki. Got it. A raccoon tail.
What makes you think they're gonna chase your...
this should
Because
be
it's supposed-
interesting. Anyway, Pedro.
Sure it will be.
Anyway, Pedro, let's be honest. This dialogue would not be out of place in an anime, subbed or dubbed, really.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Joe. What I mean is that, yeah, because remember, like, the way Japanese people talk is different than how most of us Western folk talk. So you can, that's why I'm saying, that you can tell this is
Okay,
people, even though it's a Toys for Bob game.
Alright, so what I had to do was, I used Google Translate on my phone, then used its photo feature to translate the text, and then try the best I
There we
can
go.
to make it sound somewhat natural.
There we go. I checked here the synopsis. Lunlun is the protagonist. The guy, well, I think it's either Nouveau or Kato, which is one of their supporting characters. And the two guys are basically the equivalent of the Team Rocket, as it's described here. The selfish fairy Togenisha and her server Yaboki, who wants to steal the important flower that Lunlun is protecting and rule Flower Star, which
Oh
is,
my god.
you know,
Great.
Oh my god, you know what I just
Yeah,
realized?
here's the grand epic battle. Girl versus
the
bee.
Wasp.
Oh my god, Tio, when you get down to it, this feels like an ultra super duper prototype for the Project Crossing series. Heroes
Pretty
and
much,
villains alike, occasionally here and there.
Again,
Some of
Jova,
them
you-
may be brainwashed or whatnot. You beat them up and then they join your party.
Again, Jova, Japan is much more used to these kind of crossovers than us.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. Even over in the West, we have crossovers like this, but I mean, it really
Okay.
feels like it feels like it's up to scale with Project Crossing. Not for the sake of there being a whole ton of characters, but I'm talking more so the
How they
format.
interact. Yeah, I get it. No, but it's the thing. I don't know exactly when it started, but Japan had this type of crossover structure for a very long time, while we in the West only got like a snippet of how it is with the OG generation of Super Robot Wars on the Game Boy Advance, at least at first.
Nowadays, we have
arrived.
more of these crossovers like this, but it could be cool. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, have you heard
To an extent, Jova, even Jump Force operates on this logic.
Okay, here's another. Here is one issue with this game. The
Hello.
AI are a bunch of dipshits.
It cheats.
No, they just go right for the enemies, even though they're pretty outmatched in terms of the leveling department.
Well,
Said they can...
Wasn't that the same problem? Wasn't that the same problem also in the Unholy War?
Not to this extent, I don't think. I mean, I think this one just got lucky.
So wait, did you actually get to control that fight?
No.
Huh.
Basically, the characters you come across first, every time you first come across a character, they got this NPC bubble above their heads.
That's okay, so that's a bit of a change from Unholy War, because in Unholy War, I recall you were able to control, everyone.
Well, everyone, whereas here, you control most of them, except for when they've got NPC over their heads.
How weird. Well, okay, some I get, but it's weird that you didn't get to control Lunlun, since, I mean, unless it's supposed to be a story event or whatnot.
Yeah, it was a story event. Oh, okay, I get it. This. I don't think this really has much of a story. It's got more than Holy Wars, because that was more lore than story, but
also compared to the other. Sorry, go on.
Okay, Japanese or not, I do feel like the format of the story could have been a bit more coherent and better. Like, I get that maybe certain things work in Japan better, and maybe having a knowledge of these characters helps, but it feels weird that we didn't even get, like, an introductory... Well, okay, we sort of got that introductory scene here and there, but otherwise we don't get introductory cutscenes for each of the worlds, which is a bit of a shame.
Well, the thing is, this was made for, A, for Japanese audiences, and B, for ones that really, really like these characters. Well, not the piranhas, but...
Oh, no, dude. I get that. What I mean is, like, even for people who are fans of these series, I feel like the story could be a bit confusing, because, again, there's pretty much no introductory cutscene given for the level. Like, yeah, there's technically that one thing that tells you about how everything's gone to crap in the opening of the game, but... Otherwise, not as much as there could be. Like, again, I know it may be a bit of an unfair comparison, but in something like Project Cross Zone, each cutscene does have something starting here and there. Now, granted, I'm not asking for something on that level, because obviously, hindsight is 20/20, and maybe they didn't have enough of a budget for that. But I do feel like they could have focused a bit more on the story, and at least, how the characters got here and there or whatnot.
There was also that language barrier.
Yeah, that was mentioned. A couple of factors. One, the game was technically rushed for the standards, and it wasn't even handled by people who knew the source material that much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if anyone was going to help them on that, it should have been Bandai.
But they didn't, apparently. Well, okay, at least not at first.
I mean, maybe they were trying to. I mean, they were sending them design documents through the fax all the time. The problem is they were in Japanese.
I swear, Bandai Namco make a lot of weird decisions here and there. Like, yes, of course, the people to helm a crossover of mainly Japanese-known franchises will be Westerners who originally wanted to do Gundam, which probably would have been a safer bet. I mean...
that's the thing. I get the feeling that Bandai were planning this project for a while, because remember, this was meant to go alongside one of those little Gapacha things once you get from the machines.
And also,
and what do you know? Someone comes along asking to do one of their IPs, and they say, "Oh, great! Just get them to do this one."
Anyway, sorry, go on.
No. Well, okay. To get my thing out of the way quickly, I get the mentality, but like I said, Bandai Namco make a lot of weird decisions, especially with some of their earlier initial insistencies not to localize the games, even though, well, maybe localizing stuff would get you better sales in the first place rather than just trying to test stuff out of the Japanese market.
You have to remember also, Jova, that the licensed products, not being localized was just a literal matter of licensing, and there was a bit of a turmoil in Japan for a while, especially in the mid-2000s, where Bandai lost the license to Dragon Ball games and Atari had to pick it up for a while. Then there was the merging between Bandai and Namco, and after that they did manage to get a better grip on, and they started moving from there.
I'm actually talking more so about their instances of not bringing in games overseas until shock of all shocks when Project Crosszone did better thanks to the West here. Like
actually, Jova, you had to thank the start of the movement from Dark Souls because it was the first one who got a PC port, you know, which despite the horrible first release that Durante had to fix hard, and by that I mean like 50 minutes tops. It was a massive success and had Bandai Namco convinced to start porting their games more onto PC, and as a result gaining a bit more traction. It was basically the snowballing starting from there. But anyways, I was mentioning the
Lunlun is fucked.
Yeah, the Hana no Lunlun anime, apparently compared to basically all the other products represented here, seems to be the one that in my country managed to get a complete localization, all 50 episodes and the OVA, interestingly enough. But I actually never checked it out. I probably should, because it doesn't seem too bad. It seems to be this traditional, like, 70/80 kind of anime. Kind of like Yatamen.
I will avenge you, or maybe prove I can beat this enemy and get you cards.
With a similar, with something instead more similar also to Sailor Moon. So I might actually give it a try. Let me see.
I can see where some frustrations may arise in having the NPCs not always be controllable when they do some dumb crap like that. You were saying,
oh, goody! Apparently there was, of this particular anime that I mentioned, Hanako Lunlun, apparently there was an actual English UK dub produced by Harmony Gold. I dread to think what it actually sounds like.
Aren't those the same guys who did that that very, very, very short-lived English dub of Yurese Yatsura?
Also, the first dub of the first Dragon Ball series, that was horrible.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the once fearsome Prana Devils have been defeated by a guy who can't even get the Robin Hood cosplay color correct.
He's not cosplaying as Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Eat a pan, then.
Swing and a miss there, too, Dwibs.
Especially because Japan does have a Peter Pan anime. Also Robin Hood anime.
What?
Peter Pan wants to defeat the giant
monster. Basically, there's a giant ant in the middle of this desert that's.
Oh, it's an Antolion.
That's sucking everything down into the middle.
Yeah, it's an Antolion.
Talk about the World Masterpiece Hero.
What, the Robin Hood one? No, that was Tatsunoko.
That's World Masterpiece Theater adaptation.
Oh no, okay, Peter Pan might be World Masterpiece Theater, but the Robin Hood one is definitely Tatsunoko.
Oh yeah, sure.
Hooray! We managed to not have a little girl being mauled to death with an Antolion.
Or sucked into the sandy deserts.
That's how Antolions eat. They suck actually things into sandy deserts.
Yeah, I don't know what would have been worse. Eaten by a giant ant or being suffocated to death in sand.
Both would have happened if she failed.
Also, let me see.
But yeah, I do believe that there can be some frustrations in having some of your party members not be controlled by you, because unfortunately they can do some AI dumb stuff like bum rushing that one enemy who took them out one by one.
I get the idea the thought process might have been, oh, with this we're streamlining a bit the process, so you don't have to spend, turns having to do everything yourself, micromanaging.
The Pradas know how shitty the AI has been throughout this level so far, that they're taking pity on them and going after Atco.
Remember, Jova, one complaint that a couple of people had towards also the Project Crosszone game was the fact that you had to control so many units at the same time and you had to do micromanaging.
Well, personally, I'd rather it be that way rather than,
Well, me too, Jova. You're not. I'm just saying that it was actually a thing that a couple of part of the player base had.
Well, okay. The best way to appease those people is simple. Make it an option, but not how it is set to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Serge, if you can't... Okay, Serge, if you can beat a, Yeah, good job, because that would have been so weird. If you could beat a giant blue piranha, yet you couldn't beat a, or beat a tiny brown stone thingy, then I don't know what to tell you. Alright, we're going down.
So which unit is this?
A sorting hat.
Another one of...
Is this still an enemy from Pandemonium?
Yeah.
Dead.
That's a little death spin. A little death scream it out though.
Also, who actually did the character art? Because there seem to be also for the monsters, and it's very simple.
I'm guessing some poor sod at Toys for Bob who was told, draw like an anime. That's the thing that I'm not sure. If it was someone at Toys for Bob, I do feel for them, considering this is an art style that I'm pretty sure they weren't that well versed in doing. See, look, they're avoiding the NPCs, it's just going after the playable characters.
Is the game having like a condition where if all of your playable characters die and only NPCs remain, is game over?
No, the game it's only a game over if the enemy destroy my base.
True, just like in Unholy War.
Yeah, but in order to do that, you have to destroy the spirit inside the base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically a war of attrition.
Alright, more mana please, thank you very much.
Lovely.
Yeah, the NPCs have just stopped moving. No enemies, so we'll just stand here, our work is done.
But you didn't do anything.
Well, they did actually.
True, Sarge did something.
Yeah. Anyway, now time to heal myself, James. Yeah, basically, from your base, from your base, you can heal your troops.
So, Dwibs, which would you say is the overall better game, this or Unholy War?
I'll elaborate more a bit later on. So basically, what the spell I did just then was, Akko now has a, what I think the game calls a mirror shield, so she can take more damage before she starts losing health.
Jesus.
Yeah. Imagine, now we got an 8-year-old girl against a tank.
Well, it went well for her.
Yeah, I know.
She looks like a cyborg now. Good God.
I am Akko, robot giant.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
What as I destroy this portal with a backflip?
Anyway, that was map 3 done.
Well done.
So what other obscure characters we will encounter next?
We'll see. We'll see you for part 3.
Jikai, Majokko Daisakusen, Little Witch in Mischief. See ya.
See ya.
Part 3.
Yeah.